Welcome back to Brand Champions. I'm Howard Wolpoff, your host. Again, this is brought to you by Teal, the agency. And we're excited to talk branding today with two great guests. We have Shanté Micah from Good News and Priya Shah from ShahSquared Consulting. And welcome to our conversation today.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I'm excited to have you here because you both have a great experience with working with clients and helping them execute their branding. So let's start with Priya. When you're working with a client and you're starting with them, what kind of conversations you're having about their brand, whether they've brought in some preconceived concepts of who they feel they are, and even if they don't, how are you directing them in this process?
Sure. I think it really comes down to that discovery call. It's really important to have them understand their unique selling points, their purpose, really be able to dive deep into who they are, I think, at the core and their values in order for us to really understand then how we're going to build on that brand. And I think whether it's an existing brand or the refresh, whatever it might be, it really does come down to those core elements before we can even get started. I think you have to know where we're going before we can, you definitely have to crawl before you walk, before you run.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. You really have to have that sense of what direction you're going in because, look, you've started a business, you know what you want to accomplish with it, but the key is that letting other people know what you're doing and whether they're connected with it or not. So when you're moving in a direction with them to implement messaging, what type of platforms are you finding that your clients are utilizing the most, and how are you utilizing them?
And I specialize in specifically working with social media. So for me, it's that, I really want to see that deep dive. I'm usually working with partners. So, being able to not only see what they're doing on their own, the own channels, its own channels, paid channels, being able to see how everything is working together. And then I'll be able to provide some insight into ways that we can utilize social media, specifically from a B2B standpoint, LinkedIn.
So Shanté, you've been working with clients as well. How are you seeing their use of their brands before you're working with them, and how are you implementing new ways and seeing the results from that process?
I think the world of AI has changed a lot of things in terms of content that brands can create. And unfortunately, it's the scale of everything has gone up. And that also means the scale of content that doesn't deliver on any type of message or promise. So what we've been noticing is this ability to zero in on what we call human first principles. And this is really important if you're isolating, your brand as a thought leader in this space. If you're isolating your CEO or one of your executives as a thought leader unto themselves, you're able to basically make a stranger care when it comes to your story and your product. And what that means is translating your brand into a way that it would resonate with them. It solves their pain problems. And then they look into you more and they think, oh, I really like this person. I like the way they think about things. I like the values that I see myself in the values that they have. So a lot of the new ability to scale with AI, you have to reverse engineer it first with human principles. You can't reverse engineer human principles, and you can't reverse engineer anything that would otherwise come across as transactional. After that, you can scale. You can scale the messages, the way that you are able to connect as far as with people strategically. And then everything else comes down to delivering on those promises, delivering on those values, and the quality of the product and the service that you provide.
Well, you bring up some really great points. You also mentioned AI in the process. Are you finding AI is more of a positive, or is it bringing some negative as well? Because there's a lot of imagery that doesn't really, I was going to say, match reality that a lot of people are using. And is it really flowing with the message and the, I guess, the humanity of who is doing the speaking? Welcome.
So at Good News, we're excited about AI. We think AI is a positive thing. But what we say in using it is most people are using it at a macro level. And so what they're doing is they're trying to create a ton of just content. And a lot of times with AI, what you put in is what you get out. So if you're putting in very one-dimensional garbage type of inputs, then that's what you're getting out. We think it's a positive. We've seen and we utilize it heavily in everything that we do because we're able to do deeper research. We're able to make even more custom type of pitches, which are resonating. Our open rates are 3 to 4 times what they used to be because of the use of those human first principles, but then the deep research that AI is able to do that even a team of 100, at some point you just reach critical mass in your own brain. So AI is able to house that, to learn from itself, and then to connect dots in ways that then we translate it into human connection.
Well, it is great that we have such, not just a tool, but multiple tools with AI to utilize as we have it in 2025. I can only imagine what it's going to be in 2027 and beyond. And it's great that you both are really looking at branding in different ways to strengthen the messaging of your clients. So we thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your perspectives.
Then we thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us as well. It really is important to have a vision to what your message is with your branding, how you're messaging it, how you're platforming it, and utilizing AI can be a help. You got to make sure that you are still being human sounding in the process, but there are higher level ways that AI can take your business into the stratosphere. So definitely do your research, definitely make some really good decisions and do some great branding. But go out, have a great rest of today, and we'll see you next time.